Hi there. Today I'm going to be demonstrating and explaining a few soccer skills for you. Now before I get into that, I would like to talk about the planes and axes of movement. Now we have the sagittal plane and a sagittal axis. We have a frontal plane and a frontal axis. We also have a horizontal plane and a vertical axis. On top of that, we also have oblique planes, which pass through two or more planes, or oblique axes, two or more axes. Now the first skill that I'm going to get into is the basic shot. Now for a basic shot, first thing we're going to do is we're going to extend the hip, flex the knee, slightly abduct the hip, and plantar flex the ankle. Then when we go for our follow through, we're going to extend the knee, flex the hip, while maintaining that abduction of the hip and plantar flexion of the ankle. And then the movement together would look like this. Okay, now I'm going to move into the basic side-footed pass. Now for a side-footed pass, first thing we're going to do is we're going to laterally rotate our hip. We're going to dorsiflex our ankle, slight flex in the knee, extend the hip back. Now, when we go to follow through into the ball, with the hip extended back, we are now going to maintain flexion of the knee, the dorsiflexion of the ankle, and the rotation of the hip. And we are just going to flex the hip through the ball. And we'll look like this. Now the next skill that I'd like to show you is just a basic pullback. Right? So we got the ball here. We're going to extend the knee, plantar flex the ankle, and flex the hip. Now we go to pull back. We're going to change from plantar flexed to dorsiflexed ankle. We're going to flex our knee, and we're also going to extend our hip, while also rotating laterally our hip. So again, from here, roll back and trap. All right, now we're going to look into chest control. Okay, now for chest control, this will be done simultaneously as the ball arrives on our chest. Okay, what we want to do is abduct and flex the shoulders and abduct the scapula just as the ball arrives. So we're actually creating a cushioning effect from here to just cushion the ball down, and then it'll drop at our feet. So again, abduct and flex shoulders, abduct scapula just as the ball arrives. All right, now the final skill that I want to go into is the basic header. Okay, now for a header, what we're going to be doing is abducting and flexing our shoulders, and at the same time abducting our scapula and extending our neck. Now as the ball arrives, we're going to go from that position and we're going to flex the neck and at the same time adduct the scapula. And this will look somewhat like this. Alright, now I'm going to talk about my tensegrity structure and how it relates to the human body. Now the human body a lot of times is thought of as being a continuous compression structure, where it is one piece stacked on top of another piece, on top of another piece, and on top of another piece. But it is actually a tension-dependent structure, which has flexibility to compress and expand. With my tensegrity model here, you can see I've had the pencils are representing bones, with the elastics representing muscles and soft tissue fascia. Now, as you can see with my model, it is a system that absorbs strain. Now the entire system will absorb that strain, and you can see this because when I affect one area, you can see it is affecting all the surrounding and connecting areas as well. Everything is connected. So even when you can see, my structure is not perfectly in line because I have more tension in some areas than in others, but you can see I can straighten this out with lengthening those muscle fibers, and it can compress. Now, one thing that's important to know about this is how it relates to problems within the body, because a problem could be felt in one area, but actually being caused by a completely different area. Thank you.